Good evening, Farmish family. This is Angela. Thank you for joining me today. And it is, let's see, it's a Tuesday night. My daughter is on spring break this week, and so am I. And so we've been trying to get some things done. Been doing some gardening and decided to try my hand at some dehydrating. So I needed some cranberries, craisins, dried cranberries, and I didn't want to buy them looking at the prices in the grocery store, so I went ahead and pulled some that I had out of the freezer from the holidays. And what I had was this big 2-pound bag of them. And if you don't know, your air fryer, if you have one, is able to do dehydrating. So I decided to try my hand at it. Obviously small batch. I'm not willing to go to a full-size dehydrator because I just don't have the space for it in my small kitchen, my small home. And so we gave it a try yesterday, and this is what I came out with. And they came out actually really good. And these are low sugar because I did them with stevia instead of sugar. And say what you will about it, but I'm borderline diabetic, so I do try to keep my sugar low. And they came out beautifully. They're still tart, but a little sweet. And so I'm going to show you how I did that. Now, if you don't have an air fryer, you certainly can do them in your own oven, on a large rack, or on a large tray, and just keep it at 200 or below if your oven has a setting for below 200. So the dehydrator setting on the air fryer goes to 150, and they recommend 6 to 8 hours. So I tried it for 6 hours, and they were still a little too moist. So I would say that the hardest thing is that you have to cut the cranberries. And so you'll see what I did here is I went ahead and took the liberty of doing it. You want to cut them in half, and I want to show you my cutting board here because it looks like a bit of a bloodbath. Okay, look at that. So I will tell you one secret: instead of just using the flat of your blade to cut them because they'll just squirt out everywhere, is to poke with the tip of your knife first, just to release the air and the pressure in them, and then cut through it. Now it might be different if they were fresh firm berries that you just bought, but these have been frozen, so they're a little juicier. Okay, so what we're going to do now, and this is my air fryer. I love this. This is my Ninja Foodie. I have 2 air fryers. One is the Ninja Foodie with the pressure cooker, and then this is the Ninja Foodie, which is the toaster oven. And it's gotten kind of messy. I don't want to get it all cleaned up until after. So I'm going to use a little bit of avocado oil to help retain the moisture. So, and this is probably a half a pound of cranberries, and we just need a little bit of that avocado oil. Okay, and we're going to do that, and that's going to help the stevia to adhere better, okay, to the cranberries. And then I have my stevia in a canning jar. Now this is super concentrated stevia that I get from the health food store. So now the batch that I made yesterday I found was still a little too tart, so I'm gonna up the amount of stevia on there, and I'm using about a half a teaspoon, and I'm just gonna sprinkle that all over it and give it a little zhuzh in the bowl just to get them evenly coated. And I think I probably need a little bit more. So this stevia, you need about, I think the ratio is 1/16 or 1/8 of a teaspoon to equal like 1 teaspoon of sugar. So it's very super concentrated, super sweet. So when I buy it, I buy like a big canister of about that big, and it lasts me for over a year, and I use that in my coffee for sweetener. All right, now we're going to take our air fryer basket, and I'm going to go ahead and smoothies on here. Now this is going to be kind of messy because of all the juice, but you know, what fun is cooking if you can't make a mess, right? It's like being a kid again. And we're just going to dump those on there and then spread them out as evenly as we possibly can. I've got some cooking sheets trays out because my daughter is having some friends over tomorrow and they're going to be making their own pizzas and decorating cupcakes, so I'm gonna getting stuff ready. All right, so I think yesterday I had more. There was more in there, but the most tedious part is standing there cutting all these individual cranberries. And some of them, when I did it the first batch, I didn't split them all the way through, and I found that they had a tendency to close, and then it was just like trying to dry a whole cranberry, and therefore they didn't dry as fast. So I went ahead and make sure that I cut them through so that they can be separated easier on here. So I think I had more yesterday. So because I'm getting tired of cutting them, my back, and I probably still have about a pound of cranberries left in that bag. I believe I'm going to double check tomorrow, but I think that my stock of cranberry sauce that I make, homemade cranberry sauce that I put up, is about depleted. I think I'm on my last jar since the holidays, so I may go ahead and do that now because it just makes the holidays so much easier for me when it's already done. And you can have it more than holidays, right? So I'll show you how I make the cranberry sauce too. All right, we're gonna get that in the air fryer, and I'll wash my hands up, and then I'll show you how we set that up. All right, so on the Ninja Foodie, what we are going to do, and notice that I've lined the bottom of my pan with aluminum foil of my air fryer with aluminum foil so that to catch any drippings. All right, so we're going to go ahead and turn the power button on, and because it was previously set to dehydrate, it's going there already, and it's set to 6 hours. So as I've said, I already found that 6 hours wasn't quite enough for these, so I want to set it to 8 hours. So I'm just going to move the dial over. Okay, maybe not. We're going to start it first. Now I'm going to go ahead and increase it to 8 hours. And it's late at night. So it's late at night, and actually about 11:30, and the household is in bed. I needed to get this done, and I didn't today because a lot of things happened. Namely, my daughter needed help getting her room cleaned up the way she wanted for her friends that are coming over. And then she had dance, so I didn't get to do my cranberries as well as a few other tasks I had around here, but that's okay, it's all good. We had to get some grocery shopping done, get the food for her friends, and a birthday party that we're having at a water park. So I'm starting these now because they have to go for 8 hours, and I'm going to let them go overnight since it's at a low temperature of 150. And they should be ready in the morning, and so we'll check back on those and see how they look. All right guys, first thing in the morning we're going to check on our cranberries, and it's a little more than first thing in the morning because I couldn't get up with my alarm because I was up so late last night with these. So let's see how those looked. So they are perfectly dry and still tender, some of them. So see, they got a little bit of, they're not crunchy, they're pliable, and that's what you want. Some of them feel a little bit crunchy, but most of the time what happens is I put them in something that's moist and it'll absorb that moisture and kind of rehydrate itself. So all in all, I think it's a win-win. I'm going to go ahead and jar these up, and we'll see you on the next one.